Michael Boyd is an aviation consultant. You know, Michael, when you're talking about throwing away expensive foundation or not even being able to pack for an overnight trip to carry on because you can't put your expensive foundation for your makeup into your bag, you want to at least believe that this would work. Will it?
Not really. I mean, indeed, this is a threat we've known about TATP and other substances for years. It's a knee-jerk reaction on the part of the TSA. And to be very honest, you know, giving up your toothpaste in Grand Island, Nebraska is not a step ahead in the war against terrorism. We have an issue, but the big issue is we don't have the tools and we don't have the anticipative planning to deal with things like this. That's why we're in this mess today.
Are you saying that this is the equivalent of banning those little nail clippers after 9/11, that it's something that they're doing to make people feel like they're protected, but it's not really taking an effective step?
To do this on a nationwide scale, you know, Grand Island, Nebraska, for example, it is ridiculous. It's every bit as cynical as when George Bush put National Guardsmen to stand in a crowded airport with an unloaded gun. It's a feel-good thing, but it's not something that's really moving us ahead.
And what about checked luggage? I mean, now everybody's going to put all of these liquid and gel products, presumably, into their checked luggage. Those go through a screening process as well. Would it catch the components to make an explosive in that case?
No, the majority of the stuff they would put in there, you know, the majority of those screening devices look for density, and you can get around that if you're a good terrorist. So you could put this stuff together in a bag and set it off maybe with your cell phone when you're sitting up in first class halfway over the Atlantic. Again, that's another problem. The back door of the airport is wide open. The TSA and Homeland Security have almost totally ignored that.
Well, and in fact, you bring that up. One of the suspects that was arrested in this Great Britain plot reportedly worked for the airport. How big of an issue is that? Are the employees properly screened?
No, we don't know. I mean, we don't properly vet the people working at McDonald's. We don't properly vet the people who are cleaning the airplanes. We don't properly vet the people who are working out fueling. I mean, from that perspective, very clearly, this latest plot was maybe well organized, but I do believe, I agree with the general, probably came from the bottom. A really sophisticated organization would probably ignore trying to go through a screening checkpoint.
I know
you can do it through the back door.
I know, Michael, that you have criticized the Homeland Security Secretary for lax security at some of these airports. But don't you think the fact that they foiled this plot, at least in Great Britain, shows that we're making progress toward being safer?
I think in terms of the intelligence side, yes. But the real issue is 3 months ago, we had 21 out of 21 tests of bomb parts, very similar to this, going through security, where the TSA missed it entirely. I didn't see a word from the Homeland Security Department. And the only thing that came out was the TSA put out a press release saying it only proves how good they are. So we really need to get accountability, full accountability, before we start believing that what we see at the airport is really security.
All right, so Michael, if you're the head of TSA at this point, what's the #1 change that you institute?
Well, number one, we have to have accountability, but the real thing we have to have is an anticipative plan at every single airport, where we would anticipate what a terrorist might do and have a plan to counter it. I mean, it's not rocket science to figure out what a terrorist might do. We haven't even been there yet. But the biggest thing is we need security professionals running the TSA, not appointed bureaucrats.
Michael Boyd, thank you very much for your time today, Michael.